Come a little closer. Don't be so...
Nice and spicy. Shazam! Morris, Snap, Lamp, Banana, help! Go!
Surrender and I'll be gentle.
You're toast! Booba, get them! Just like we rehearsed. Fly! Let's sweeten the deal!
Leave it all to me.
Fall in!
Strike is one!
Time to clean up.
Everyone on me!
As you wish, mein Fräulein.
Steady as stone, as a good knight should.
Rally!
Your grand finale! Flags fly! And stay! Wings of darkness! Let's light it up!
Charge!
Everybody stand back!
Leave it all to me.
Everyone on me! Advance!
Submit! It's nothing.
Time to clean up.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Your life is mine. Don't waste my time.
Let's light it up!
Give up.
Charge! Can't catch me!
I'm going in!
Press the advantage! Oh, coming through! Cha! Attaboy!
Everybody stand back!
Rally!
Submit. Don't waste my time.
It's showtime! Let's roll!
Adventure time! At the frying pan! It's nothing! Teamwork is dreamwork! Hey, I am cutting edge of fashion! Submit! Everybody stand back! Nice and spicy! Delicate as silk!